Happy Earth Day, everybody. Today I'm going to read a story written by Michael Franti, who's one of my favorite musical artists, called Where in the World is Away? And it is going to talk about what we do with our trash. So I'm going to get started because it's kind of a long book. Let's take some deep breaths to get ready. So much easier to read when our minds are calm and we're thinking about what we're doing right now, which is reading a story. Where in the World is Away? By Michael Franti, so he's the author, illustrated by Ben Hodson. Illustrated means that he drew all the pictures. Little Lee and little Lou sat by a lake sharing a bottle of juice. It was a warm, sunny day, and the birds were at play, and they smiled as they watched Mama Goose. So here are the children at the pond. As they finished the drink, Lou pulled back his arm and said, "I'm gonna throw it away." "Stop, Lou. Think before we make a mistake. Where in the world is away? If we throw it in the lake, it's gone for today. But is that really away?" Not for the frogs who hip-hop on the logs, or the fish who jump up in the air, or the little tiny things that live off the greens that grow on the bottom down there. So this is the bottom of the lake. All of our spills just fill up their gills, and it's so hard to breathe without air. They play hide and go seek and think school is cool, so we shouldn't make a mess down there. Look at the bottom of the lake. There's all kinds of garbage down there. People threw motor oil and other containers, plastic, and it looks like a tube that you can squeeze, and there's a can. And this is their home. That's not very nice. "I've got a plan," Lou started to say. "Over the hills where I'll throw it away." "Not so fast, Lou, if I may say. Is over the hill there really away?" "That's where the forest grows, tall and wide, and all kinds of critters live deep inside. It's cool in the daytime and warm at night, and squirrels do twirls while birds are in flight." So this is a forest. And so that isn't away either. That also is somebody's home. A forest is one of the habitats we're going to be talking about more this week. And I see squirrels and birds and owls, bears and deer. Many different animals make that their home. So we don't want to throw a bottle in their home either. There's nuts and there's berries, there's bears and there's fairies, and a butterfly up in a tree. By the light of the moon, they play drums with raccoons as the mice shout, 1, 2, 3. So here they're all playing at night. But if the forest has bottles, on a hot sunny day, the sun magnifies and might set it ablaze. Then all the forest beings would run with affright. We don't want that, Lou. No, you're right. So if we throw things away in the forest, they could really damage it. Maybe start a fire. That would not be good for the animals' homes. Lou said, let's just throw it here on the street. Someone will come and eventually sweep. But look down below, even up through the cracks. There grows the tiniest blades of green grass, and where there is grass, then grasshoppers be, and where there are grasshoppers, let's let them be. So you don't want to throw it on the ground either, because that's a habitat for, this is a grasshopper and a ladybug and bees. There are little tiny animals that live on the ground and in the ground and under the ground. And besides, we all like to keep the street neat, and we don't need glass where there might be bare feet. There's far too much garbage. It's just got to stop. The landfills are filling right up to the top. So this is a landfill. So this is where when we throw garbage away into a garbage can, it has to go somewhere. And it usually goes into a landfill. So we don't want too much stuff in a landfill, so we have to think of a different place to put that juice bottle. Then where is away? Said confused little Lou. And what of the bottle when there's no more juice? They spotted a bin with a round symbol on it, a can with the word recycling on it. And inside the can, there were hundreds of bottles in all kinds of shapes and colors and models. So here, we've seen this before. In our classroom, we have a garbage can that has arrows that go around in a circle. And that means we're supposed to recycle. Not just throw it in the garbage where it ends up in a landfill, but maybe where it can be used again. If we put it in there, will it go away? Sweet little Lou started to say. Lee opened her mouth to say, we'll never know. And just as she did, along came a crow. This crow at her feet was oh so unique. A crow named Mo with a beak that could speak. So this crow says, what's their attention? He has something to say. Good heavens, they shouted. How could this be? The crow said, relax, it's just little old me. If you'd like to know where old bottles should go, close your eyes, spread your wings, and follow this crow. The bottles are picked up by truck and transported to a glass sorting center where then they are sorted. So here is the bin. And here's the truck that picks it up. And now they're going to a recycling center. Green ones go there and brown ones go here. There's places for blue and for yellow and clear. So I see green bottles here, some blue, more green, yellow, clear, and brown. They're all sorted in different places. All of the paper and caps are removed, and yes, even those things are recycled too. All of the glass gets crushed into cullet, a word you mightn't heard, but that's what they call it. Then it's thrown into a furnace to heat to a temperature of over 2,000 degrees, and then when it's melted, it glows into goo, and then there are so many things you can do. So here's where the bottles start, and they go through a crusher into a into a mill, and then into a powder sifter. So it gets all ground up. First it's crushed, then it's all ground up so that it's like a powder. And then it goes up here into a mixing machine, and it comes out the baking machine into new bottles. You can bend it and shape it and pour it into molds, make magical artwork or things to be sold. And when it cools down, it turns hard very fast and quickly returns into shiny, smooth glass. It makes mirrors and lamps and grape jelly jars, even eyeglasses and windows for cars. There's so many things, so many to choose, and yes, you can even make bottles for juice. So you can recycle it into something else or make another bottle. So always recycle, said Crow with a smile, and reduce what you use every once in a while. When you reach for that bottle high up in the shelf, remember, away is just somewhere else. There's so many choices, said Sweet Little Lou, but this here bottle we're going to reuse. And they each put a flower in it. So Lee and Lou each put a flower in the bottle, and they're going to use it as a little vase. The end. And I see the space between the words the and end. That's how I know it's two words. Okay, and there's questions here. How can you reduce? So one way you can reduce is by not buying many juice bottles. I only could find one juice bottle in our recycling because we didn't buy little bottles. We just have one big bottle we can pour into a glass. So we reduced the number of bottles. We're still going to recycle it. On the bottom, there's a triangle that has arrows in it that tells me I can recycle this. It has the number 1 in it. I know you can't see that because it's so small and clear, but it's there. You can have your parents show you on bottles and things at home what that recycling symbol looks like. So that's one way you can reduce, just by not buying as much or buying big containers instead of many little containers. How can you reuse things? In our story, they used their juice bottle to put flowers in, and then it became a vase. So it was a juice bottle, and then it was a flower vase. So you could reuse things. You could also just put water in it or make some more juice and use the same bottle for your juice. That's how you could reuse a juice bottle. But you could reuse lots of things that you have in your house that maybe you would throw away, but if you think about it, is there a way you could reuse it instead of just throwing it away? And how can you recycle? So you can recycle bottles like this by putting them in a recycling bin and then making sure that once it's in the bin that it gets to the right truck. Usually garbage men are responsible for that. People who work for the city will put them in the right containers and then take them to the recycling factory. You can recycle other things too. At school, remember, we always recycled our paper. I would say, oh, put it in the blue bin. Don't put it in the black garbage. Put the paper in the blue bin because you can recycle paper. What else can you recycle? You can also recycle glass. So that was in the story. They recycled glass. This is a plastic juice container, but you can recycle plastic and glass. And there are other things that you can reduce and reuse and recycle. So just talk with your parents and find out what you can do to help make our earth a better place. And I do have our earth globe here. Give it a spin. We want to take care of our whole planet for all the many, many, many people who live on it and the many, many animals who live on it. We have our place here in space in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we can do our part. So reduce, reuse, recycle, repair whenever you can. All right. I love you.